Hey guys, my name is Rob Noire. This is Phil the Dreamer. Welcome to a movie review. The first time we're doing a movie review at release of a movie. I'm not sure what movie we just went to see here. I have no idea. Do you guys have a clue yet? I mean, I'm trying to drop hints, but we saw Sonic. We saw Sonic. I have so many Sonic games. I did not realize this before I found props for this video. So many Sonic games.
Didn't know there was that many.
Oh, I only have maybe a quarter of them. So first up, the first part of this review is going to be spoiler free. So if you haven't seen the movie and you just want to hear our general thoughts on it, don't worry, we're not going to spoil anything. When we get into spoilers, I will put a spoiler warning in a Sonic font all the way across the screen. So
there you go.
Look for that.
Rings, right?
I'll have to animate rings, apparently. Yes. So, and he'll never be in another review. Phil was never heard of again.
No.
So yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog movie. So, spoiler-free review. It was actually good. So weird. It makes me feel dirty to say that Sonic the movie was good.
I was not expecting the movie to be that great. I actually had a really good time and I laughed a lot.
There were actually some funny scenes, and the thing that I liked the least about the movie is that it's clearly a kids movie.
Yes.
So there was a lot of humor, a lot of moments in it that are not meant for us. They're not for adults. I mean, it's for kids. But there were enough scenes that were actually funny to me.
The 3/4 of the movie was for all ages. I think that's what they were trying to go for. Still get the young audience, but also...
Well, exactly. I heard Ben Schwartz, who did the voice of Sonic, of the Blue Blur over here. I'm probably coming across like a super fan of Sonic. I'm actually not. I just apparently own so many games. But Ben Schwartz, who did the voice of Sonic, he said that, well, yes, it is like a family-friendly movie. They understood that most people who grew up playing these games, well, now they're in their 30s or older. So they had to make a movie that they could enjoy as well.
I was expecting the plot to be really bad, but it was actually
okay.
It was actually an okay plot, and actually good plot, and the way they put everything together, it actually makes a decent amount of sense. So
I don't know if I didn't think the beginning plot of how Sonic ended up on Earth was good.
It was a bit weird,
and it stood out from the entire rest of the movie. The rest of the movie was really consistent. And this opening scene, while the graphics looked good, really felt out of place in the movie. I have a feeling maybe a bunch of different people worked on it, a different team, different writing, I don't know.
Yeah.
But plot-wise, the plot made sense. It held together well. It justified why all these things were happening, and it didn't feel super stupid. And for a video game movie, that's more than you have a right to ask for, really. We were talking about this, and there are a lot of video game movies out there. There are two that I would consider as actual good movies. Sonic being one of the two. So, and there are at least 25 video game movies out there that we even know of. That are from franchises that are big enough to be seen.
Most of them are bad.
Horrible. Legitimately, there is no value here.
Yeah.
So,
the Mario Brothers movie.
The Mario Brothers movie, the Hitman movie, but this movie was fun. I had a good time. I laughed. I
had a really good time too.
I laughed. I cried. I didn't cry, but
I got a bit misty.
You got misty eyed when you saw Sonic. When you saw Sonic fully realized.
I guess I'm a big softie, but yeah, a little bit. Not much, but
he looked good. The redesign was overseen by Tyson Hesse. I'm sorry, dude. I have no idea how to pronounce your name. He was the lead animator on the opening scene from Sonic Mania. He's also drawn and written for the Sonic comic books. He's a huge guy who's in Sonic, and he oversaw the redesign. Why it looks so good.
Yeah.
Sonic, he doesn't look quite the same as video game Sonic. They had to make him look a little bit more realistic, something that could actually exist. He doesn't just have one giant eye visor. He actually has two separate eyes and stuff like that. But
yes,
he looks great.
It looked like in the game. And I gotta say, the bad guy, Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik, I knew it was gonna be good, but I didn't know it was gonna be that good.
He 100% committed.
Oh my
And it wasn't just him being, oh, I'm Jim Carrey.
Oh, hell no.
Like, he actually did a role. I liked a lot of his performance. There was a lot of it that I didn't like as well, I'm gotta say. I can't really get into that without getting into spoilers, though. But Jim Carrey, he did a great job. Like, most of the scenes he's in, he stole the scene. Ben Schwartz, who did Sonic's voice, he had the right energy. Like, it didn't sound like an adult, but it didn't sound like a little kid either. Like, they captured that.
It was like a teen.
Yeah, it felt like that. And I mean, Sonic's had a lot of voices in video games where it's like, hey guys, I'm Sonic. Like, you know, like, it gets really kind of weird, but like, they've had a consistent voice actor who's done a good job. And this wasn't the exact same voice as that, but it was close enough and a good, like, it had the same feeling to it, you know, the same kind of energy, which is important. And there were some like emotional scenes that he had to do as well. It wasn't just all fun and games. He pulled those off too. So Ben Schwartz, great job on it. Like, really thought you did nice work. You know?
Very well.
James Marston. I believe I will put up the name here in case we're completely.
There you go.
By the end of the video, it's going to be like Jonathan Mars.
Yeah, exactly.
But the guy who played Cyclops in X-Men, and he's been in a bunch of other movies, he was the main male lead in it there. He played a small town cop in a town that's so small it doesn't even need a cop. He did good in that role. Like, he actually, I liked him more in that than anything else I've seen. He wasn't perfect.
No.
Like, the movie itself is not perfect, but he did a good job. The girl who played his wife, she did a good job. I mean, everybody who was in the movie, they did their best. They brought it, and it was a good performance overall. Like we were saying, I think I gave it a rating, and personally, I think it's about a 7.5 out of 10 as a movie. Not as like, I'm a Sonic super fan, I love this. Just as a movie on its own, if you're not familiar with Sonic, I'd give it about a 7.5, which is actually pretty decent. And here we'll put up the Rotten Tomatoes scores as well. It's actually, with audiences, it's like over 90 as of right now. With critics, it's somewhere in the 60s. So yeah, that's probably just about as far as we can go, though, without really getting into the spoilers.
Yes.
So spoilers from here on. Spoiler warning.
Spoiler.
So, the plot of the movie, what actually went down. So basically, Sonic was born on his own home planet, which looks like the Sonic world you saw. And he was raised by an owl. And then some...
And the Sonic world actually...
Yeah, it had like the loop-de-loops, and he makes a reference to it. Yes, it did.
In the mountains. I think that was a nice touch.
It was funny. Like, it was like, oh yeah, that's Sonic. He was raised by an owl, and then these tribal hedgehog people.
Weird.
The owl was weird.
That was like, what the...
I don't know if I'm going to have pictures to put up for some of this, by the way, guys, because it's so new. All I really have is the trailers.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had like a CGI owl friend who like protected him when he was a kid. And then they got attacked by like these tribal hedgehog people. And like, I've seen them in a Sonic game. Like, that was actually characters from a Sonic game. I couldn't tell you what. They're slightly pinkish. They have all this thing. Maybe Sonic Adventure. They seem kind of like the ones in the temple on Sonic Adventure. I think. I don't know, but I recognize them, and then basically he gets this bag of rings from the owl, and when he throws a ring, he can hop through to a different world.
Yeah.
Like whatever you're imagining when you throw the ring. So the rings came back into Sonic in that way. And so he goes through to another world, which I don't think was Earth, and then eventually he ends up on Earth, or maybe it was right to Earth. Yeah. Whenever he gets discovered, he has to hop.
And he's on Earth in the small town of Hill.
Like the Green Hill Zone.
Like Green Hill Zone, yeah.
And then... He basically, he lives in that town. This is the town where the small town cop is. And basically just nobody can know he's there. He's like super lonely. And so at one point he kind of gets frustrated about the fact that he's lonely, and he's running like as fast as he can in a baseball field. It creates like the shockwave that kills all the power and puts him like in the notice of the government, who send Dr. Robotnik after him. The scene where they decide to dispatch Robotnik felt really forced.
It was a bit weird.
Yeah, it felt kind of weird, but it was just to get Dr. Robotnik after Sonic. And so basically Dr. Robotnik goes after Sonic. Yeah, one of his quills gets left behind, and it has the same power as Sonic, like it has the same energy through it. And then like essentially Sonic realizes that he's going to be hunted. He tries to escape. The cop finds him in his shed, shoots him with a tranquilizer dart, and causes him to like drop his bag of rings through a ring into San Francisco, because it was on the guy's shirt. Like the guy who shot him with the gun had San Francisco and that building on his shirt, so Sonic was thinking of that when he was trying to escape. It made sense in the movie. It was fine. And it was basically a device to get them on the road to San Francisco, where they head off on a road trip. And on the road trip, they go to what was my favorite scene in the entire movie, which is they get to like this truck stop. And first, I really like the line where the guy goes to a payphone to try and call his girlfriend, and Sonic's like, "What is that?" And he's like, "It's a payphone. It's for drug dealers and serial killers." And I'm thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, nobody uses a payphone. It's 2020.
Exactly.
Like, we all have a phone. Like, I have two phones of my own in this room. Like, nobody uses a payphone. Like, I thought that was funny. And then Sonic goes to, it's like a Western bar, a country bar? Yeah, biker bar. It's like a truck stop. And that's where some footage from the trailer was in this bar where, like, they play darts and they do all this thing. And Sonic learns about the concept of a bucket list. Like, a list of things you want to do before you die. And he realizes that he's done almost nothing. And then James Marston, whatever the cop's name was. What was this? Tom
Wachowski.
Tom.
Yeah.
So Tom feels bad for him. It's like, all right, why don't we just knock off a bunch of things here? And there's a lot of fun scenes. And then a bar fight happens. Oh, yeah.
We don't like your cat around here.
Yeah, they're like to Sonic and the guy.
You know?
To Sonic and Tom, they're like, get out of here. We don't want your kind in here. And Tom's like, oh, what kind is that? And Sonic's like, blue hedgehogs? And they're like, hipsters.
Yeah, hipsters.
And Phil doesn't know what a hipster is. I'll put up a bunch of pictures here of hipsters. But, yeah. And so a bar fight starts. And this was my favorite scene in the movie because Sonic is about to get hit and then he decides to run and time slows down. So he's moving at a normal pace, but everything else is frozen. And it's like they captured... Sonic is supposed to be like a cool guy, you know? Like he's got like dreadlock spikes and is cool dude. And up until that point in the movie, you weren't really getting that from him.
Well, before that, he was quite innocent.
Yeah, he was.
He kind of gains confidence by hanging out with our friends, Tom.
And then that scene, man, where like he's running around people, like he covers one guy in toilet paper, he puts like a hat on a bunch of guys, he moves Tom to the bar, then throws a beer at him, which lands in his hand. Like they captured like cool Sonic, like how Sonic's supposed to be cool.
What about that part in that scene? Tries to hit the guy with a beer bottle
and it doesn't break.
Work.
Yeah, Sonic.
He just keeps hitting him on the forehead with it.
Sonic watched a lot of movies, like in other people's houses, while they didn't know he was there. Like he spied on everyone in this town, and so he saw the beer bottle break, and he tried it, and it didn't work. He was like, "This always works in the movies." Like, it was funny. And then, obviously, they get out of the bar. They go on a road trip. Dr. Robotnik tracks them down, and he's chasing them in a car.
That scene was really cool too.
I like that scene. Sonic goes into his ball form. He learns spin dash or whatever it is. Like he just organically learns the attack, and he knocks the car flying, and then like he gets out of it unscathed, and like, oh my god, how are you not dead? And he's like, I don't know. Yeah, it was funny. I enjoyed it.
What was actually Robotnik was trying to get them in a huge tank.
Yeah,
which pretty much like he got with the first spin dash, comes back, and now like
a tinier tank comes out of the big tank.
Yeah, exactly. A bit like in the game.
Oh, dude. Well, that's it. He destroys the first tank, and then a tinier tank gets ejected from the first tank, starts chasing them down, and then they destroy that, and then it's like the wheel of the tank comes off, and that's its own machine that's chasing them down, and then he destroys that, and then it becomes this little drone, like all from the same thing. That's exactly like the games, and where you destroy Robotnik's machine, and then he just pops out in another part of the machine and keeps going. It's like, come on. And then in that scene, the drone basically like chops the roof off of their truck.
Yeah.
And then like Sonic like pulls the eye out, and it's a bomb, and it's stuck to him. And eventually they end up in San Francisco. They get to the tower, they find the rings, and then Robotnik like confronts them in this giant plane scene, which was one of the most notorious scenes from the original trailer, where Sonic still looked like a nightmare creature. And that scene was great. It had an unexpected moment where he tries to commit murder and push the two leads off the building. That was great. And then Robotnik has Sonic's quill so he can harness the energy, and he's chasing him. There's a huge fight scene. I'm not going to get through all the fight scene, but it was well done. In the very end, essentially they use the rings to trap Robotnik in the world that Sonic was trying to go to. The mushroom world. And Sonic decides to stay on Earth. Basically everything kind of gets resolved.
Trapped on it, he's actually his head, so he's called as the Robotnik character.
And he's got the mustache.
Mustache like him, and he looks like exactly
Oh, and he was starting to get a belly as well. Like, he put on a little bit of weight. Because he didn't really look like Robotnik that much throughout the rest of the movie. Like,
I guess he ate a bunch of mushrooms.
Yeah, I guess. And maybe they're stuck in there. I don't know. But he like, they made him look like Robotnik. And like Phil was saying, Jim Carrey did a good job in this movie.
Masterful.
My complaint with Jim Carrey's performance is we saw this in theaters. Like, we just came from the theater. Yeah. There were several moments that were just him completely overacting, like, intentionally. Which to me, it was just like, like, whatever.
It was Jim Carrey.
It was just Jim Carrey being Jim Carrey. It was like, whatever, okay. But like, the kids in like a row or two back behind us were laughing and laughing. There were a lot of moments like that in the movie, which is like, okay, this is humor for kids. But it had enough humor that was not for kids. That was just for everyone, or that adults would get and like understood, which is why I liked it. And there were a lot of references in the movie as well to older games and things.
Like most of them were really well. Like the Green Hill thing, that was
funny.
Cool,
I liked how using the rings to warp zones. That was a reference. Sonic learning the spin dash, also a reference. Like, there's a reference to one of the games in it. That was just like the name. Something that I thought that was funny. There were a lot of little references just peppered throughout, but not shoved in your face. But I remember there was one reference that was shoved in your face. So, the scene where Sonic murders, he pushes the two main leads off the building. Robotnik confronts them, and he has all these drones around. And the drones are shaped like eggs. So Sonic's, look at your egg drones. Thanks, Mr. Eggman.
Yeah, he calls them egg.
And it's super, like, on the nose, like a little fork.
That was very pushed. There's that turtle. And Tom Wachowski is taking, like, he's trying to get Speedster. And he gets the turtle, and it's like, you don't speed or something like that. I don't know what he said. I don't remember what he said, but it's like, careful there not to go too fast. But he almost running over when he comes back. And Sonic,
that was a good scene.
And Sonic saves him, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to do you a favor. So he takes the freaking turtle and starts going really fast. And you actually see the face of the turtle distorted because it's going so fast. I laughed pretty hard.
Yeah, it was to show like how small time of a cop Tom was. Like, he's just sitting there pointing his speed gun at everything. He points at a turtle. It's like 0.01 miles an hour.
Yes.
And Sonic runs by and it suddenly jumps 300. And then Sonic's like, I feel bad for you. You're so slow. And he starts running with the turtle. And the turtle, like you said, his face goes.
Yeah, it was well done.
I liked the bit where Sonic's talking to the turtle and he accidentally lets go.
He lets go of it.
Oh no. Crap! And then he runs and gets it.
At least he saves it. Saves it.
And then he sets the turtle down on the ground, and the turtle's like,
"Oh yeah, the turtle's like freaking shaking like crazy." That was hilarious.
That was probably my second favorite scene in the movie. The bar fight scene though was amazing.
Yeah, it was really well done as well. That's true.
We talked about sequel baiting. Well, at the very, very end, there's, first of all, the credit sequence I loved. They basically replay the entire movie as if it was a 16-bit Sega Genesis game.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Like, with bonus levels and everything, it was incredibly well done. And that is a nod to us older fans who played like the Genesis and Sonic Mania.
Yes.
And then you see a ring open up in a forest, and then an orange fox with two tails steps out and goes, I found him. He's on this world. I have to go after him. I hope it's not too late, and flies off. Tails.
Of course, Tails.
So that's their sequel bait.
And yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's also a hint to a sequel.
Yes, so, potential sequel.
Look, if it comes out, I personally am going to see it because I enjoyed the first one.
I would watch the sequel too. And it's good to like support them doing things like this. Like I said, this is one of the best video game movies ever come out, and it's a solid movie on its own.
Yeah, even if it wasn't based on a video game, I would have still liked it, I think.
Yeah, I would have liked it too. Like I said, as a movie, not as like a video game movie, just as a movie on its own. That's why I give it about a 7.5. It's a kid's movie, but one that's good enough to appeal to an older audience. And if you are a fan of the series, you're going to get a lot more out of it.
That's right.
And overall, it was good. One thing I didn't like is there were two moments of product placement in the movie.
Oh my god.
One of which was fine, which you mentioned was one of your favorite scenes, which is Sonic has these super beat up shoes.
Yes.
And then when he's in San Francisco, they're at like his wife's sister's house. and this little kid sees how bad his shoes are.
His wife's sister. Oh
I didn't like that character. She was such a stereotype.
She was a black woman stereotype.
Sassy black woman.
Sassy black woman stereotype. And she was really annoying too.
Like, I was kind of like, come on, guys. But like, yeah, but the little girl, she sees how messed up Sonic's shoes are, where there's like literally holes to them. She gets her own set of sneakers and gives them to him, which were actually made by Puma, who did like a little advertising campaign about it. But that was fine because the shoes look like what Sonic shoes look like in a video game. Do I have one?
The red sneakers of Sonic, of course.
Yeah, there. So that's Sonic in the Secret Ring. If you see his red sneakers there, that's what Sonic's shoes look like.
Yes.
The Puma shoes, it was nice, and it was a really nice moment in the movie. It was like a quiet, touching kind of moment.
It was, yes.
So the thing I did not like is Olive Garden.
Oh, God.
So there was a line early in the movie where the wife's sister said to check Tom's phone for dating apps, and Tom basically goes, I don't have any apps on my phone other than what came installed in the Olive Garden app. Because, when Olive Garden, when you go there, you're family. It was super out of place. It felt super weird.
That was such a cheap pop.
And then at the end of the movie was a scene that could have worked if not for that first scene making you go, why are they promoting Olive Garden? Where the government basically thanks them for like supporting their cover-up and not like telling the world, hey, there's an alien blue hedgehog and a crazy doctor who tried to kill him and blow up half the city. And they give him like a present as like a reward, as thank you for like being with the government and, keeping your mouth shut. It's a $50 gift card to Olive Garden, which on its own as a joke would have been funny.
Yeah.
The setup before that was kind of not. And then they also promoted again where he's like, I'm really looking forward to using this gift card and trying their endless pasta. Did you know it's actually endless? Like those two lines were not great.
I mean, I guess they really want kids to go to Olive Garden.
Well, that's it. I was saying, for Olive Garden, they probably gave them like $1 million and like, you got to talk about us twice in your movie, because they're like, hopefully, the kids who went to see Sonic will now be like, Mom, Dad, can we go to Olive Garden? Sonic likes it.
Yeah, exactly. That was a bit pushing there.
Yes, it was.
But I gotta say,
it didn't ruin the movie for me, but it stuck out like a sore thumb.
I gotta say, maybe not on the same topic, but I gotta say I like the way Sonic at the end, what happened where he ends up,
Mm-hmm.
he actually ends up kind of the kid of
he's the couple, of Tom and the woman.
Tom and his girlfriend there, and he has his own like man cave in the attic.
Yeah,
with all his stuff from his cave.
Yeah, he was living in a cave in the woods before. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought that was a nice kind of touching end to the movie.
That was cool.
And like I said, Tom, it reminded me, he called Tom the donut guy. Sonic would call him that.
The donut king?
Donut King. Donut King,
yeah,
I think it was.
Because he was talking with donuts?
Yeah, because he would just sit in his police car with nothing happening and talk to his donut.
Yeah.
And so they kind of overuse that joke a little, and even at the end when Tom is like fighting Dr. Robotnik, he's like, who are you? And he's like, I'm the Donut King. It felt really kind of like, that's one of those moments that was like for the kids.
I'm actually surprised they didn't reference a donut place,
Dunkin' Donuts should have sponsored it instead of Olive Garden.
I mean, that would have made more sense, I guess. At least you don't see them at Olive Garden in the end, like as a family.
Oh, they do like...
That would have been like, come on.
Dude, they do like they did in one of those Avengers movies where they go to get shawarma at the end, but they're at the Olive Garden.
Really?
That would have been funny. The first Avengers movie, Tony Stark talks about, I want to try shawarma. Wouldn't that be great? And the end credit scene is just them eating shawarma.
That's true.
Why is this in the movie? That would be hilarious if that would actually be hilarious if they did that inside.
That would have been pretty funny.
But overall, man, like, I was, as a fan of Sonic, I'm not a super fan, but I do enjoy the good Sonic games. And, like, there are actually quite a few good Sonic games. Also a lot of not good Sonic games. But as a fan, I liked a lot of the references. I felt most of them were well done. And I liked the movie overall. 7.5 out of 10.
I would definitely recommend that movie to any adults. Even if you're not a Sonic fan or you don't even know Sonic, it's still a good movie to watch.
It's fun.
And I would give it an 8.3 at least. And
like, yeah, if you don't know the video game, like, you can enjoy the movie without knowing the video game.
Yes.
But the thing that I appreciated is that it still captured like the spirit and ideas of the video game.
It captured the essence and made them not so obvious in your face reference, you know what I mean?
Like
it
Sonic,
was subtle and it was nice.
it felt like Sonic, like they used the rings correctly. There was still a thing in it, like everything Sonic did felt like Sonic. Like they understood the source material well enough to make a game that to make a movie that captured what the games were trying to do.
Yeah, that's right.
And overall, fun, enjoyable. I thought it was pretty good. I was expecting to think it sucked. Oh, that says a lot there. Like I was going in expecting like a 2 out of 10. I came out with a 7.5. So yeah, if you're curious about this movie, we would recommend it.
Definitely, yes.
I hope it does well. I hope it makes like a decent amount of money. If they want to do a sequel, I would definitely go see the sequel as well.
I would endorse it for sure.
So yeah, I think that's pretty much it, unless you got anything else you want to add.
No, I think pretty much everything has been said and done. So when the next one comes out, hopefully...
Sonic in 2024.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, that was a line that I loved. When Sonic wakes up he was like in a coma, he's like, what year is it? What world is it? Is The Rock president?
Oh yeah, it's The Rock president. That was a funny one too. I laughed.
Topical humor, like, because, The Rock's talking about running for president. But there were a lot of lines that were actually quite good in.
Yeah, it was very well placed.
So yeah, guys, thanks a lot for watching. We hope you enjoyed this quick review. Is this something that you do enjoy, like you like it when we do this kind of thing? Let us know. Drop us a like, leave us a comment. Maybe we'll do some more on other movies.
Of course, yes.
And as always, guys, we'll see you in the next one.
See you again.